What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. Now this build is actually a requested build. A lot of you might have seen a few weeks back I did like a inventory management, stash management video, and in that video I'm not gonna lie, I was talking a lot of trash about creeping death. I'm not a huge fan of creeping death, nor am I a huge fan of trauma. Just because I feel like the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece or like the Wicked backpack are better options. However, ever since that video, I've been getting requests about a creeping death build. Hey, what do you think about creeping death for this? What do you think about creeping death for that? I want to see this with creeping death. And well, here you go. I'm answering your wishes, your requests, whatever you want to call them. And here is my creeping death armor regen build. Now, before we get into the build breakdown, obviously, just like a majority of my builds, I have to show you some PvP gameplay. That way you can see that, I can at least kill other agents while using this build. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you some PvP gameplay followed by the build breakdown, and then after the build breakdown I'm actually going to jump over to maybe Lincoln Memorial or something like that and show you some PvE. That way you can see that this build is pretty well rounded. But alright, so sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and let's enjoy some PvP gameplay. Be right back.
An agent needs assistance. Rogue defender drone detected. Agent down. Agent down.
Friendly claiming the supply drop. The Specialization supply drop was just picked up by a friendly.
Rogue defender drone detected.
There are no more rogue reinforcements. Eliminate whoever's left.
Agent down. Vital signs critical. Rogue Mender Seeker Mine detected. An agent needs assistance.
enemy is about to be pulled out. You're too strong for them. Rogue reinforcements.
Alright, so you got some PvP gameplay. You can see that I can kill an agent with this build. Pretty cool, right? Alright, so let's get into the build itself. Because a lot of you probably could have already guessed what I was running just based off of that gameplay I just showed you. But here it is. This is my Creeping Death Armor Regen build. I'm not using any meta weapons. I'm not using any meta combinations. All I did was try to get the most armor regen I could possible while, you know, still maintaining some damage. So, build breakdown. Here we go. Starting at the top, we have my specialization. I'm using the Technician specialization. Reason being is I get 10% skill damage, and I also get a skill tier. And for that, I am using my skills quite a bit. For PvP, I was using the Explosive Seeker Mine and the Stinger Hive. Reason for that is both of these skills will put the enemy on bleed. The number one thing you want to do with this build is you want to be up close and personal, and you want to make everyone around you bleed. The more people you get to bleed around you, the more armor regen you get, and the more, you know, survivability you have. So with that, let's get to the weapons. So for my weapons, I'm not using any sort of meta weapon combination, nothing like that. In fact, I just went with some of my personal favorite weapons. Starting off with the apartment. The apartment is my primary weapon. It is the named MPX submachine gun with perfectly measured. So the top half of the magazine has a higher rate of fire but lower weapon damage, and the bottom half of the magazine has a lowered rate of fire but, you know, buffed weapon damage. Now this one is God rolled. So I'm sitting at 103.6k total damage with max SMG damage, max crit chance, and max damage to targets out of cover. If I look at the attachments, I'm using crit chance for the laser pointer and the optic, and then for the muzzle I am using crit damage. Of course you want the extended mag, that way you have more bullets in your magazine. Now for my secondary, I am using the FAMAS. This is one of my favorite assault rifles in the game, and it is really good up close and personal. With a 900 round RPM, it's pretty much amazing. Now, for the FAMAS, I'm at 81.8k total damage, and this one is God rolled. So I have max AR damage, max health damage, and max damage to armor. Now what I did is I rolled Sadist on here because the whole point of this entire build is to get the enemy on bleed. You want the enemy on bleed for as long as possible, that way you can sustain that armor regen and kill the enemy. Now, Sadist gives you 20% weapon damage to those bleeding targets. Yes, you can use InSync, Ranger, Optimus, blah blah blah, but for me personally, this build is all about making the enemy bleed, and what better talent to use than Sadist. Now for the attachments, kind of like the apartment, I'm using crit chance on the optic and laser pointer, and then for the muzzle I'm actually using crit chance as well on the AR, because the AR does have less crit chance than the submachine gun. And then of course for the magazine, you want to use the extended magazine. That way you have more bullets in your magazine. Alright, and then skipping to the sidearm. Double barrel sawed off. This one does have instinct on it, but I don't really care. The only thing I care about is the 1.1 million total damage, with damage to armor and damage to targets that it cover. If I'm in a pickle or I'm reloading a weapon, what have you, and someone's running around the corner, I can whip this sucker out, boom boom, and there you go, they're dead. Alright, so there are your weapons. So you know why I'm using the specialization, you know why I'm using these weapons. Now let's talk about the build. So starting off with the build, you can see I'm using 3 core attributes for weapon damage and 3 core attributes for armor. With that being said, I'm sitting at 1.3 million armor just as a baseline. Now, doing a deep dive into the gear, starting off with the mask. This is my Golden Gear mask, and from the Golden Gear brand set bonus that I get from this build, 10% status effects, which is great for the bleed, and 1% armor regen, obviously, which is amazing for the armor regen. Now this mask is god rolled, so I have max armor regen, and max crit damage. What I did for the mod is I put another max crit damage mod on there just to, put icing on the cake. Now going to the backpack. This was, man, I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the harder pieces to find. I just happened to craft it, so if you have the blueprint for this backpack, that's the way I had to do it. Because it was really hard to find a Bellstone Armory backpack with creeping death and crit damage. Luckily I found one, and then I rolled on their max armor regen. But the Bellstone Armory brand set bonus I get from this build, 1% armor regen. Obviously that's why I'm using it. For the core attribute, I'm sitting at 139,000 armor, which I am optimizing, so maybe next time it'll be maxed out. I do have max armor regen and then 10.1 crit damage. And then for the mod, another max crit damage mod. Now, the talent Creeping Death. This is what this whole build is revolved around, is this talent right here, Creeping Death. When you apply a status effect to an enemy, it is also applied to all enemies within 8 meters of that target. Cooldown 15 seconds. You don't really care about the cooldown. The whole reason what you want to do with this build is to have this activated, because the more enemies you have on bleed around you, the more armor regen you're gonna get. So for this one, the Creeping Death, that's to enemies within 8 meters. So remember that, that's vital for this build. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about the chest piece. That way I can help you understand the build. So I'm running the Ridgeway's Pride exotic chest piece. The reason I am doing that is for the talent Bleeding Edge. When I shoot an enemy within 15 meters, it'll apply a bleed. Now, the next part is where things get interesting. It will repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. So, if you are shooting an enemy that is within 15 meters, say they're 10 meters from you, and you can proc Creeping Death. Creeping Death has only a 8-meter radius. So, if you are playing close enough to your enemies, you will know that no matter what you do, when you put that one enemy on bleed, it will proc Creeping Death to all the other enemies around you, and then all of a sudden your armor regen goes from like 3 or 4% up to, 15-20%. Now for PvP, you're not going to be able to hit that 48% armor regen per second unless you're in the dark zone and you're surrounded by enemies. However, in conflict PvP, it is very likely to get, 2, 3, or even sometimes 4 enemies bleeding at once. So there is a possibility to get over that 25% armor per second from this, talent alone. Now, Going back to the attributes. This one, max weapon damage, crit chance of 4.9, and max crit damage. For the mod, another max crit damage mod. You can see that I'm putting a lot of status effects and crit into this build with armor regen. Going to the gloves. These are the firm handshake gloves. And it's rainbow for all you wondering about like a rainbow build. So these are the named Sokolov Concern gloves. Sokolov Concern brand set bonus we get from this build, 10% SMG damage. What is really cool about these gloves is they come with 15% status effects, which is perfect for this bleed build. Now for the attributes, I'm max weapon damage, you have the 15% status effects, and then also max weapon armor regen. Going down to the knee pads. Emperor's Guard knee pads. One of my favorite pair of knee pads in the game. Now these are the named Murakami Industries knee pads with that 1% armor regen as an attribute. Now the brand set bonus we get from Murakami is skill duration. That's okay. I mean, I guess that's good for our hive, but it's not really that useful. What you're using these knee pads for is for that 1% armor regen. Now as far as the attributes, it is God rolled, so max armor, you have the 1% armor regen, and then max crit damage. And then finally, last but not least, Golden Gear holster. And it's not God rolled. So for this one, I have max weapon damage, max armor regen, and then 4.2% crit chance. So I am missing a little bit of crit chance. Now, with all of this put together, let's look at the stat sheet. So this is for my apartment SMG. 103.6k weapon damage with just under 34.5k PvP weapon damage. I'm at 50% crit chance, 132 crit damage, and 70 headshot damage. Going to the offensive tab, 55% all weapon damage bonus with 40% SMG damage bonus. So every time I use the apartment, I get 95% damage bonus total. Now for the gear talents, remember I'm using Creeping Death with the Bleeding Edge. So I'm making a lot of enemies bleed around me, which also, gives me more damage, but in turn gives me a lot of armor regen. Going down to the defensive tab, just under 1.3 million armor with 57.3k armor regen. I have 332k health, and then I have 10% explosive resistance and 10% hazard. Now because of these two numbers, this is where I stop and do my disclaimer for all my builds. Now, as of making this build, I am watch level 1631, which means all of these boxes, all of these attributes are maxed out 50 of 50. Now, if you are above shade level 1000, you should have all of these boxes maxed out, and you should be able to copy and paste my build and get the exact same numbers. However, if you are below shade level 1000 and you just copy and paste my build, you're going to have some lower numbers in some certain attributes. So just remember that, whether it be weapon damage, armor, even skill haste, there's still going to be things that are not going to be as high. So just remember that whenever you're copy and pasting these builds, that if you're below that 1000 shade level, you're just not going to be able to get the same numbers exactly. So yeah, there you go. Fruit for thought. But alright, that is the build breakdown for my Creeping Death Armor Regen build. I already showed you PvP gameplay, so let's go to some PvE gameplay. So for today, I'm going to be doing Lincoln Memorial on Heroic. Let's see if anyone needs help, and let's get to it. Now, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions at all, let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget that notification bell. A lot of people do. Alright, so let me go fast travel to Lincoln Memorial, and we will check out the PvE part of this. Now, for the PvE part, I don't know if I really want to use the Stinger Hive. I'll try it out still. My problem is mainly the Seeker Mine. That might be a problem. Let's see if there's something else I can use. Ba-doop boop boo. It's looking like those are the only ones that really deal that bleed damage, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. Burn. Yeah. Alright, we'll just stick with these. Say, what the hey? Alright, come on. Is anyone matchmaking for Lincoln Memorial? Anybody? Here, let's just go ahead and start it. If I die, I die. I don't know. It's a requested build anyways, right? So I wouldn't recommend this for solo PvE, but we'll give it a try. Ooh, he's shooting at me. Hold on, isn't there another enemy back here somewhere? Oh, that's like way off the map. I don't even know why that shows up on your mini-map. Let's see if I can showcase this armor regen. Yeah, look at that armor regen. There we go. Now it's just coming back in chunks. That's pretty cool. Alright. Oh, just got hit by another grenade. Holy guacamole, that turret is tearing me up.
Agent killed.
That dude's turret ate me up. The engineer. Oh, come on. Wasn't really wanting to do this solo. Is no one doing this? I mean, if we're going to do this solo, I'd rather just do Summit solo. That way I can use my hive to my advantage. I'll give it another 3 potatoes, and then we'll go to the Summit. How about that? Little kamikaze after hours. Alright. Looks like no one is doing Lincoln Memorial right now. Might have to, rework that part of the video. Let's do a Summit. Whatevs. Alright, so let's go over to a Das Summit. I might have to do solo Summit for now on for my builds. Because Lincoln Memorial, I don't want to do that one solo. It's not fun. But then again, I haven't done Summit in a long time either. Let's see how she works. Alright, so settings, let's see. What does the average Joe play? Probably heroic, right? Yeah, probably. I don't really care. Don't really care about any of these. Just showing off the build. It'd be aight. Alright, so we're gonna do some heroic. Let me get some ammo. Is there no ammo box here? Alright. Good stuff. Good stuff, Massive. Make a lobby with no ammo. Good stuff. Alright. Let's go to our Summit floor and start this baby off. Hope everyone's doing good. E3 is coming up. It is sad that there's no Division 2 or Division Heartland news, but it is what it is. Oh, snap. I'm on floor 100. Okay. Alright. So this should be fun, right? Let's try this out. I like how I just do these videos live and I don't even really think about it. And then, like, I die and I'm like, oh, probably should have thought that one over. Oh, jeez. Probably should have thought that one over. It's a sniper? Oh, I see. Oh, hold on. Before I do that. Really? You're gonna kill me? Alright, so what I want to do is I want to kill that enemy and then be right at that door for when they spawn. I could use my stinger. There we go. Run! Oh, just a few seconds to... Oh. There we go. There we go. See, now we're working. Now we're playing the game. There we go. Get him, Seeker. Jeez, it's the world's slowest Seeker mine. Thank you. Hey, look at that. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little scared right now to do this against the hunters. I'm not gonna lie. This might be a little hairy. Oh man, I'm gonna end up dying, dude. I don't have enough firepower to just face tank the hunter. Let me think. What do I do? Because they're gonna jam my skills. I mean, I guess the best way to do that would... how would I do that? Alright. So this is going to be the part where I'm going to switch my build because I actually want to defeat the hunters. Let me think. Well then, let's get rid of the Seeker Mine at least. How about we do that? We'll go for a jammer. No, let's go for the trap. Shock trap? Yeah, there we go. Alright. YOLO. Leroy Jenkins.
System disrupted.
Even though I do not recommend anyone doing armor regen for the hunters. It's not the smartest idea. But we'll try it.
System reactivated.
Alright. I guess we just have to sit and wait, right?
System malfunctioning. System restored.
Oh, they took that out pretty quick.
System curtailed.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
System reactivated. Rogue artillery turret detected. System malfunctioning. Rogue fixer drone detected. Immediate medical assistance needed. Agent vital signs 0.
Alright. And I died just because that just happened.
System back
But
online.
yeah, so I would recommend you could do this all the way up to floor 100 and not the hunters. But even me doing the hunters right there, I knew I just did not have enough damage to just burst them down. But alright, there you go. A little bit of PvE, a little bit of PvP. This was a, you know, a viewer or subscriber requested, not sure. But yeah, you ask me for the build and I will make it for you. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.